Libra. A mirror is being held up to your life this week. Not the gentle mirror that reflects the image you prefer to see, but the deeper one, the kind that reveals the truth beneath appearances. The sun now moves through Aries, directly opposite your sign. This is the part of the sky that illuminates relationships, partnerships, agreements, and the ways you connect your life with others. Whenever the sun travels here, the focus naturally shifts away from me and toward we. But this year, the message arrives with unusual intensity. Early in the week, the sun meets Neptune, and something in a relationship may feel uncertain. Words may be vague, intentions may seem difficult to read. You may sense that someone around you is searching for clarity just as much as you are. Neptune dissolves illusions, but first it shows us where the illusion existed. Perhaps you begin to see someone differently. Perhaps you realize that a dynamic you once accepted without question now requires deeper honesty. This is not a crisis, it is a revelation. Because soon after this moment of uncertainty, the sun meets Saturn, and the atmosphere shifts from confusion to accountability. Conversations that once felt delicate may now require directness. A partner may ask something of you, or you may realize that you must ask something of them. Saturn's influence reminds us that relationships are not sustained by charm or balance alone. They require commitment, responsibility, and sometimes difficult truths. For some Libras, this may be a week where an important partnership becomes more serious, where shared responsibilities or long-term plans begin to take shape. For others, this may be the moment where you recognize that a connection has reached its natural limit. Either way, the universe is guiding you toward relationships built on authenticity rather than illusion. Meanwhile, Venus approaches Chiron in Aries, activating an emotional healing process within your partnerships. This alignment can bring vulnerability to the surface. You may suddenly become aware of an old wound connected to trust, perhaps a memory of feeling unseen, unappreciated, or misunderstood. But the purpose of this moment is not to reopen pain, it is to transform it. Healing begins when we allow ourselves to acknowledge where our hearts once hurt, and then choose not to let that experience define the future. The moon also moves through powerful emotional territory this week. When it passes through Gemini and Cancer, conversations and emotional exchanges may bring insights that deepen your understanding of someone close to you. Later, as the moon moves into Leo and Virgo, the energy becomes more reflective. You may need moments of solitude to process everything that has been revealed. Libra, you are often the one who restores balance for others, but this week asks you to restore balance within yourself. Speak honestly, listen deeply, and allow the truth, even when uncomfortable, to guide your decisions. Because the relationships that remain after such honesty are the ones strong enough to last.
Libra, your tarot card this week is Justice. This card resonates strongly with your sign, and it signals a moment where truth becomes unavoidable. Justice appears when the universe is balancing scales that may have been uneven for some time. You may find yourself making an important decision, one that requires honesty with yourself as much as with others. This could involve a relationship, a responsibility, or a commitment that now requires clearer boundaries. Justice reminds you that fairness is not only about others, it is also about honoring your own needs and values. When you stand firmly in your truth, the right outcome naturally reveals itself.
Libra. The I Ching reveals hexagram 61, Wind over Lake, Inner Truth. This hexagram speaks of sincerity and alignment between the heart and the words we speak. When inner truth appears, it suggests that honesty, especially emotional honesty, carries the greatest power. You may find yourself in a moment where a conversation becomes deeper than expected. Something important may need to be said, or perhaps someone reveals a truth that changes how you understand a situation. Inner truth reminds you that harmony does not come from avoiding difficult emotions. It comes from expressing them with kindness and authenticity. Let your words reflect what your heart already knows.
Libra, the rune appearing for you this week is Laguz. Laguz is the rune of water, intuition, and emotional flow. It represents the wisdom that arises when logic and feeling work together rather than against each other. You may find yourself navigating a situation where emotional awareness becomes especially important. Rather than forcing a decision immediately, Laguz encourages you to listen to the subtle signals within yourself. Water does not rush toward its destination. It moves naturally along the path that already exists. Trust the instincts that guide you quietly. They are revealing the direction that aligns most naturally with your life.
Transformation rarely arrives without a moment of truth. The realizations you encounter this week may challenge old patterns, but they also open the door to a stronger future. Before you leave, share in the comments what truth in your life has become impossible to ignore lately. If this message resonated, please like the video, subscribe to Lumin Laura's, and tap the bell so you never miss your weekly horoscope. Stand firmly in your truth and move forward with strength.